Good morning. Good morning, Bush Gang. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Ooh. Hi, everybody. Y'all, let me tell you. Okay, so yes, if you remember, you already know. Yesterday I had to go. I was out and about with my cousin, my husband's first cousin, so my cousin too. And girl, we were out till 1 o'clock in the afternoon. But let me tell you something, sis was so exhausted. Oh my God. I got home. All I could do was lay down and take a nap. Because and then Farrah still had practice. Ooh, let me check. Let me check the Farrah had practice, so I had a few hours and I just could not get it together for the whole day. That took me out. So anyway, let's get caught up. And I hope everyone had a good day yesterday. I hope that you found something to watch. I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did. Let's get into this. So we'll get caught up with Nesto at lunchtime. I already set up the live. But there was some hearings yesterday and I wanted to do a quick catch up because I'll more than likely be over at Love Lies and Lace Fronts probably in the next I would say hour and a half. Depends on if you guys have anything else to talk about. But I wanted to show this real quick. The mom who had the disgusting townhouse and the three kids that were left to fend for themselves, she had court. She had court and it was supposed to be a probable cause hearing. However, there were some items that were missing. And because of that, it was delayed till Friday. So it was like, okay, well, more court. But it was interesting nonetheless hearing the proceedings. So let me let me share this real quick. Just a second. Let me see how everybody's doing. I appreciate y'all getting here so fast. Um, and one thing I didn't realize is that this is the same county where the Crumleys were convicted. So, the Oxford school shooting? And so Oakland County is where Ethan Crumley, his mom, we just watched a hearing with her not too long ago. This is the same prosecutor. Good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. I missed y'all yesterday. The Nesto call was really good. We're going to do that at lunchtime. So this will roll you right over to it. Just make sure to hit your notification so you'll be notified as soon as I go live. But I set it up for 12 noon. We have some bad weather today, which is another reason why I'm live early, is because, girl, hopefully our power doesn't get knocked out. But um it's supposed to be 50-mile-an-hour winds up until a certain point. I'm not sure what's going on. You guys probably could tell me better. I have not been paying attention to the news. But we got an alert last night. One of those, out of an overabundance of caution, we will be, I forget what they said. I guess canceling school, y'all. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious? I hate to do the old time, I used to walk to school in a snowstorm type thing, but damn it, I sure did. It could be snowing outside. My mom would bundle me up and send me out the door in the direction of the school. Okay. It's a tornado warning. Well, then I guess it's good for the kids don't need to be at the bus stop. So, okay, that makes sense. Okay. Let me I was like, "Did they make it asynchronous? Do you have work to do?" But she's sleeping and she needs it. She worked really hard yesterday. They didn't get out of practice till 5:30, so ma'am is tired. Anyway, okay, let's get into it, guys. Okay, we are at the Oakland County Court and ma'am is sans lace front and she is trying to hide it's almost like she's trying to hide herself. I'm sure she might feel awkward without her lace front. Um, but baby, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. All right. Hold on a second. Let me fix this. Let me do it like that so you can there's another you'll see. It's pretty clear. Last time we could barely see her, but the judge basically she didn't ask her to move her hand, but it was obvious. Can you please move your hand so we can see you kind of thing. So, let me make it nice and a little bigger so y'all can see. Okay, let's go. All right, good morning everyone. Good morning Bougie Gang. Okay, also you're in Rocky Mount. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, North Carolina in the house. Okay. Also, your lights are flickering, girl. Let's go ahead and get this show on the road. It's supposed to be done by noontime. So, um, also, I'll tell you guys about it in a minute. Okay, let's go. Well, let me put my headphones in.
No, Yana, I've met with her multiple times. I saw her this morning too.
Okay, very good. Calling People versus Kelli Marie Bryant, case number 250216FY.
This is the girl that okay, so this is the girl with the filthy house. This is the girl that left the kids to fend for themselves. This is the lady that when she was in court for bond, she has 3 charges. They gave her no bond on 2 and $250 million on one other. So they're going to talk about all of that, okay?
All right. Ms. Karen Dondo, did you need to speak to your client at all before I call the case?
No, Yana, I've met with her multiple times. I saw her this morning too.
Okay, very good. Calling People versus Kelli Marie Bryant, case number 250216FY.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kanika Ferentz on behalf of the people.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. This is Silly Karen Dongo here on behalf and with Kelli Bryant. Your Honor, she's present from the Oakland County Jail via Zoom. We have no objection to Zoom.
Ms. Bryant, can you state your name for the record, please?
Kelli Bryant.
Okay. Is that Ms. Bryant's hand in front of her face? Right
now?
Okay, thank you.
Girl, Kelli is trying to not show, and she's got her yellow bracelet on. Do you see that? Girl, handcuffs. Sis. Ma'am, are we catching? You're in Winston. Okay, North Carolina, stand up. Okay. But you kept yours home. Better to be safe than sorry. Okay, North Carolina standing up this morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning, good morning to all my Carolina girls. Good morning.
This is the time and date set for a probable cause conference on the 3 counts of first-degree child
Girl, serving.
abuse. Ms. Karen Dongo, how did you want to proceed?
Your Honor, I've had extensive conversations with Ms. Bryant as well as with Ms. Ferenczi. At this time, I'm in receipt of, I want to call it partial discovery. I have the written initial police report, there's apparently a supplement that will be available for me today. And also I have the children's interviews. I was provided with those yesterday. I don't have anything else. There are terabytes of electronic discovery that is going to be provided to me on the external hard drive that I provided to the prosecutor's office. So we're asking you to adjourn the probable cause conference so we can have all the discovery. I think it's paramount in this case, Your Honor.
All right, can you pull something off the printer, please? Thank you. All right. And you discussed the 21 days with Ms. Bryant.
I did, Your Honor. She understands that she has a right to have her preliminary examination within 21 days. It's impossible in this case if we're going to provide her with effective assistance of counsel. And I think she understands and appreciates that. Our next court date would be set outside of that. She's not waiving her right to the preliminary examination just to have it, I guess, at this time within the next week. And she's in agreement, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I will note that the 21 days is waived, not the right to the exam, but the right to have it within 21 days. I understand that there are still discovery issues pending. Before we get to the date, defense did file a couple of motions, and I will deal with those this afternoon as well. One was a motion to restrain pretrial publicity. I did receive and review the motion as well as the briefs. Any comment from either side as to that?
Your Honor, just ever so briefly in response to some of the things that the people were putting in their response or their objection to my motion. You know, there's a lot of information that's already public information, meaning the court proceedings are open to anyone, certainly to the media. There's the register of actions that are public. There's a lot of public information. There's also already a lot of information that's been disseminated via social media and the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. The issue I'm having is that the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office disseminated information that really is confidential information that they have had me sign a protective order for before I could receive it, which included the children's interview. They also requested initially that I sign an agreement to not disseminate anything of discovery nature to anyone, including my client. And I declined to sign that. But so they've asked me basically to not talk about this case or share it with anyone. But at the same time, it's saying that this is in the public interest. I don't think it's in the public interest to disseminate evidence that hasn't been admitted into court. And I don't think it's in the children's interest to disseminate any of that. The public can certainly be kept informed via the media when we have court proceedings, as well as, you know, what the public can look up on the public register of actions from court. So I don't see any public interest in the prosecutor's office continuing to hold press conferences and talk about this case. And, you know, included in the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, which, you know, many of those deputies and detectives are assigned to this case. They're witnesses in this case. And the Oakland County Sheriff's Office continue to talk to the public about this case. I was especially disturbed by the fact that what looks to be a body cam from one of the deputies that were in the home has been disseminated all over social media before we've even had any kind of court proceeding. So I do think it's a proper motion. I'm asking that you grant it.
All right, Ms. Ferenczi?
Thank you, Your Honor. I do just want to respond briefly to both Ms. Karen Donovan's statements today and also her motion. I do want to be clear. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald held one press conference on February 19th, 2020.
Okay, let me stop right there real quick. So for those of you who are not familiar, get caught up in my playlist. Kelli Marie Bryant, you might not recognize her because she does not have on her wig. She does not have on her lace front. Okay, this is the mama that left her kids to fend for themselves for years. Okay, and we saw the video where the people went in the house and had to clean up the nasty house. Let me see where it is. I know we saw the video, the cleanup video at length. Okay. Let me see where it is. Oh, it's right here. Okay, let's do this. Let me show y'all real quick. You guys know this house. We saw it. We sat and watched it for almost a whole hour. But maybe some of you guys have not seen it, so that's cool. Everything is here. Let me see. You guys remember the nasty house. She left those kids by themselves to fend for themselves. Hey, good morning, baby. She left those kids by themselves to fend for themselves for a long time. Good morning. Oh, good morning. Thank you. Good morning, baby. This place, this mama. Okay. Let me drop the link to this video. Copy. Let me drop it in the chat. If you hadn't seen it, this was the whole cleanup over here. And as far as the story is concerned, maybe I'll make a Kelli playlist because I think that she's going to be dragged by the prosecutor. I mean, not dragged, but she's going to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the laws, because she is potentially looking at life in prison. So she's getting ready to get it. Okay. So I'll make a Kelli playlist. Okay. I'll make a Kelli playlist, but this is Kelli Marie Bryant. She abandoned her kids. So look at her face. Okay, now look. Now look. Look at this. See that? Okay. There's another one where they focused a little bit more. Hold on. You can see a little bit more of the players before we continue to go. That way it's making it make sense. Uh, hold on. That way you can see a nice close up because baby, they got all up in her face. Hold on. Let's see. Right here. Right here. Okay, here's Judge for right now. I don't know if she is the judge presiding over this case, but she is at the moment. There's Miss Kelli, and there's the two attorneys. Okay. Judge, defendant's lawyer, where's the prosecutor? Prosecutor's up here in the burgundy, and the criminal. She's right there. Okay. If you want to get caught up on this case, I'll drop the link to when we introduced it. So if you need to be refreshed at what's going on, but ma'am is sitting. Thankfully, her children did survive the situation. They are in the care and custody, I guess, of family in the state. They're being looked after, but ma'am is sitting and she is waiting her due process. She went for court recently, and we did watch that too. Gosh, it's like we've got a few Kelli Bryant things. We saw her go to court maybe about a week or so ago, and she got a $250 million bond. They were not playing with her. So this Friday, for reasons that they just explained, they are holding the probable cause hearing. This was supposed to be a probable cause hearing, but it ended up not. Because there was some evidence that they still had not seen. So they're going to do it on Friday. So there's more to come. Hopefully, they will continue to cover this, the Detroit media, so we can see it. Because as you can see, the news channel is in the courtroom, but many people, so the prisoner obviously and the two prosecutors are on Zoom. So you'll see. So we'll run it back from the beginning. Looks like they've been giving her the business in there. You think so? Okay, let's run it back since some of you guys are just coming in. We've had about 50 join since we got started. I know it's early, but I said let's go ahead and get started because we missed yesterday, and I apologize. Like, life was lifing. And I was with family yesterday helping out. So, and when your girl got home, baby, she was tired. Okay. So let's get into it. I'm going to run it back to the beginning so we can hear, and I will drop the link to Uninterrupted. But we'll try to just listen as much as possible, answer questions, and then, we can always run it back again. You know what I mean? Probable cause has been proven as far as I'm concerned. Okay, yes, but it has to be official. But we will go on the record with 80% CMOS states that there is probable cause to bind over. However, we have to wait for the judge to make that decision also. But sis, I have recorded that 80% CMOS is on the record. Hi, Nina. Hey, boo. I had to update my CC information. Okay. Thank you so much, sis, for making it official. I appreciate you, hun. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As Nesto would say, she got a murder ball. Okay. All right. Let's start from the beginning so we can hear everything. Okay. All right. Again, Kelli Marie Bryant. If you're just coming in, just scroll back a bit so you know what, where, why, and who. Okay. And who and what. Okay.
Need to speak to your client at all before I call? All right. Ms. Karen Dondo, did you need to speak to your client at all before I call the case?
No, Your Honor, I've met with her multiple times. I saw her this morning too.
Okay, very good. Calling People versus Kelli Marie Bryant, case number 250216FY.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Kanika Ferentz on behalf of the people.
And good afternoon, Your Honor. Cecilia Karen Dongo, here on behalf and with Kelli Bryant, Your Honor, she's present from the Oakland County Jail via Zoom. We have no objection to Zoom.
Ms. Bryant, can you state your name for the record, please?
Kelli Bryant.
Okay. Is that Ms. Bryant's hand in front of her face right now? Okay, thank you. This is the time and date set for a probable cause conference on the 3 counts of first-degree child abuse. Ms. Karen Dongo, how did you want to proceed?
Your Honor, I've had extensive conversations with Ms. Bryant as well as with Ms. Ferenczi. At this time, I'm in receipt of, I want to call it partial discovery. I have the written initial police report, which is, there's apparently a supplement that will be available for me today. And also I have the children's interviews. I was provided with those yesterday. I don't have anything else. There are terabytes of electronic discovery that is going to be provided to me on the external hard drive that I provided to the prosecutor's office. So we're asking you to adjourn the probable cause conference so we can have all the discovery. I think it's paramount in this case, Your Honor.
All right, can you pull something off the printer, please? Thank you. All right. And you discussed the 21 days with Ms. Bryant.
I did, Your Honor. She understands that she has a right to have her preliminary examination within 21 days. It's impossible in this case if we're going to provide her with effective assistance of counsel. And I think she understands and appreciates that. Our next court date would be set outside of that. She's not waiving her right to the preliminary examination, just to have it, I guess, at this time within the next week. And she's in agreement, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. I will note that the 21 days is waived, not the right to the exam, but the right to have it within 21 days. I understand that there are still discovery issues pending. Before we get to the date, defense did file a couple of motions, and I will deal with those this afternoon as well. One was a motion to restrain pretrial publicity. I did receive and review the motion as well as the briefs. Any comment from either side as to that?
Your Honor, just ever so briefly in response to some of the things that the people were putting in their response or their objection to my motion. You know, there's a lot of information that's already public information, meaning the court proceedings are open to anyone, certainly to the media. There's the register of actions that are public. There's a lot of public information. There's also already a lot of information that's been disseminated via social media and the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office. The issue I'm having is that the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office disseminated information that really is confidential information that they have had me sign a protective order for before I could receive it, which included the children's interview. They also requested initially that I sign an agreement to not disseminate anything of discovery nature to anyone, including my client. And I declined to sign that. But so they've asked me basically to not talk about this case or share it with anyone. But at the same time, it's saying that this is in the public interest. I don't think it's in the public interest to disseminate evidence that hasn't been admitted into court. And I don't think it's in the children's interest to disseminate any of that. The public can certainly be kept informed via the media when we have court proceedings, as well as, you know, what the public can look up on the public register of actions in court. So I don't see any public interest in the prosecutor's office continuing to hold press conferences and talk about this case. And, you know, included in the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, which, you know, many of those deputies and detectives are assigned to this case. They're witnesses in this case. And the Oakland County Sheriff's Office continued to talk to the public about this case. I was especially disturbed by the fact that what looks to be a body cam from one of the deputies that were in the home has been disseminated all over social media before we've even had any kind of court proceeding. So I do think it's a proper motion. I'm asking that you grant it.
All right, Ms. Ferenczi.
Thank you, Your Honor. I do just want to respond briefly to both Ms. Karen Dongo's statements today and also her motion. I do want to be clear. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald held one press conference on February 19, 2025, after Ms. Bryant was formally charged. In that press conference, Prosecutor McDonald combined her statements to the already public information from the square to that morning. Prosecutor McDonald has not made any public statements about this case that has any potential to deny Ms. Bryant her constitutional rights. The statement about the video, I am not aware of what video Ms. Kirandano is speaking of. From my understanding, we live in a social media era right now, and information and misinformation spreads very quickly. We did get reports that individuals in our community, not part of law enforcement, made unauthorized entry of the residence at issue in this case, and did record videos, take photographs, and posted their findings on social media that did have high views. And Your Honor, that vigilante activity does create a dangerous precedent and the potential of widespread distribution of misinformation. And Your Honor, I do believe that a gag order would prevent the prosecutor the ability to correct any sort of misinformation. This case has drawn a lot of public outcry, and a lot of that public outcry predated law enforcement's presentation of this case to the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office requesting charges. And the reason of that outcry is because the welfare of our community's children is a vital social movement. And the facts of this case rarely involve allegations of egregious harm to children. And Prosecutor McDonald has a duty to comply with the Michigan Rules of Professional Conduct. MRPC 3.6 and 3.8 expressly recognize that the public has an interest in and a right to know about cases as such. Prosecutor was acting.
Let me say something really quick. So is number one, I did just make a playlist if you're getting caught up on this case. Number two, the children's interview was conducted by the prosecutors and given to her defense attorney, and she's just now getting it and hadn't had a chance to completely review it. Also, I think, or she is waiting to receive it. So they could not complete the probable cause today for that reason. As far as the children's interview, keep in mind, it's not like a sit down, Good Morning America. It is the detective's interview to find out what was going on in that house. So it's, they call it an interview, but it's not an entertainment interview. It's a detective's conference with the victims, right? And that the lawyer, the lady with the Miss Caradondo, the defense attorney needs that information to be able to adequately support her client. So now it's going to be on Friday. So no, it's not out to the, I don't know that it'll ever be out to the public, but we might get a little information during the probable cause, but because the kids are minors and because of Marcy's law, because of them being victims, we might get some information, but yeah, those interviews won't be out. So, okay, let's finish up.
Within her authority and in good faith in making already public statements during the February 19th press conference. The issues that Ms. Caradondo brings up about this misinformation is the sole reason why it is important for the prosecutor's office to be able to check the misinformation and provide accurate information of what is happening in this case. The public has a right to be precisely and accurately informed about its vital social interests in the systems that are responsible for keeping our children safe, Your Honor. And I respectfully request on behalf of the victims and the citizens of Oakland County that the court deny the defendant's motion, Your Honor. Thank you.
As I indicated, I did review both the motion and the briefs that were attached. And the court did review MCR 8.116D1 to evaluate whether a restriction on information or a gag order prohibiting discussion of the case with the media, whether that would be appropriate. And as you're all aware, the Michigan Court of Appeals has indicated that an overbroad or vague gag order constitutes a prior restraint on freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of the press. So this court would have to determine that the interest to be protected outweighs the right of access. Denial of access would have to be narrowly tailored to accommodate the interest to be protected, listing the specific reasons for limiting access. The initial charges against the defendant have already been presented. The prosecutor has held a press conference which was prior to the date of the arraignment. We are now at the probable cause stage, so it would appear that there should be no further need for such similar press conferences during the pendency of the case. A gag order, in this court's opinion, would be inconsistent with law, Michigan rules of professional conduct, and the public interest. The Michigan rules of professional conduct do provide guidance in this area, and those rules do permit a prosecutor to make statements that are necessary to inform the public of the nature and extent of the prosecutor's action and that serve a legitimate law enforcement purpose. The February 19th press conference that was referenced in the motion and the response was actually prior to the arraignment, which was February 20th. Now, massive, pervasive, and prejudicial publicity has been ruled in cases to interfere with an individual's right to a fair trial, but the mere existence of pretrial publicity does not automatically deprive the defendant or the prosecution of a fair trial. There are court rules and jury instructions that can provide protection in these areas. So while this court will not be imposing a gag order, I'm simply instructing the parties to comply with Michigan rules of professional conduct and court rules during the pendency of this case. But should there come a point, while this case is within the jurisdiction of the district court, where there's a massive, pervasive, and prejudicial round of publicity, this court will review the issue and make the appropriate determination at that time. At present, defendant's motion to restrain pretrial publicity is denied. Now, the defendant has been charged with 3 counts of first-degree child abuse, which carries a maximum penalty of life. The defendant is still, however, presumed innocent until proven guilty, and that brings us to defendant's next motion, which was a motion for reasonable bond. I did, for the record, have a brief bench conference with both attorneys as to that motion. And the court is willing to do an evaluation of appropriate pretrial release conditions. The things that the court has to consider is the defendant's prior criminal record, if any record of appearance or non-appearance or flight to avoid prosecution, any history of substance abuse or addiction, the defendant's mental condition, including character and reputation for being dangerous, the seriousness of the offense charged and the probability of conviction and likely sentence, any employment history, status, and financial history as they relate to the ability to post bail, the availability of a responsible member or members of the community who would vouch for and monitor the defendant if released, ties to the community, including family ties and relationships, and the length of residence, and any other facts bearing on the appearance or danger to the public. So the standard at this point is not abuse of discretion, but the court is willing to review the issues related to pretrial release in detail. We would not be able to do that today because of the other cases that are scheduled. However, if both parties are available, I am willing to do that on Friday so we don't have an unnecessary delay. I do understand that we will have to adjourn the probable cause conference. Will this Friday at noon work for both parties?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
That will be on at noon, and that will be
Yes, that works. Thank
motion
you.
for a reasonable bond, where the court will review it and make specific findings as to that. In the meantime, I've noted the 21 days is waived. We'll set the adjourned probable cause conference to Tuesday, April 15th. That will be at 2 p.m. For today's purposes, bond will be continued, but I will address it on Friday.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, anything else for the record on this case today?
Your Honor, will the motion hearing be held via Zoom?
It will be via Zoom, yes.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. You're all set. Bond is continued for today. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Ma'am was looking definitely very much bored, very much bothered. Her secret is out the bag. People are aware of her misdeeds and she's being held to account. Um, they are reviewing her bond. She did get an astronomical bond. First of all, she has 3 charges. 2 had 0 bond. 1 had $250 million. And I think obviously the judge was making a statement. So, it was making a statement. Will she get a lower, she could get $100,000 bond. Doesn't mean she's getting out. Not to mention, she would need bond issued for all 3. Then she'd need someone to show up and actually pay it. So it's not giving at the moment that ma'am has that type of support. Um, Also, people don't want the scrutiny from the community at large. So the people in Pontiac were, the people of the world are very upset with this woman for the treatment of the children. And as you've seen in other cases, I mean, people are not being shy about getting on people's social media and asking, where were you? What was the family doing? How did you not notice that the kids were obviously missing and or not being well taken care of, and the neighbors and all. So so she might get a reduction in bond, but it might not be anything that's going to make a difference, because they could give her 250,000 across the board on all 3, and she's not going to be getting out. You know what I'm saying? um Okay. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes on Friday. They're gonna come back and do that update. Anyway, guys, this was a quickie. I'm gonna be over at Love Lies and Lace Fronts in a few minutes, and we're gonna get caught up over there. But this was a Kelli Marie Bryant. I did post the playlist, so if you hadn't been keeping up on this, now is a good time. It's and or others, okay. Also, we have about there's a few who have not yet hit the thumbs up. If you're here, you're enjoying, you're liking, you're picking up some information you had not heard previously, go ahead and hit the thumbs up for me. It helps the channel tremendously. Okay, I certainly appreciate you guys' support. I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I will keep you up on what's going on over here. We'll get together at lunchtime, and I do have another. So let me tell you this. So I've been working on something with the Brandy Pierce case. So just stand by. I'm going to have some more updates on that. You guys know who Brandy is. Hold on one second. You guys know who Brandy Pierce is. Just a second. Let me find ay ay ay. Let me drop the link to the Brandy Pierce. You guys know who she is. She was the mommy who was on the lam. She basically there was the situation that happened in Detroit at the rental property. She had gotten a rental car in Illinois. She'd made her way through Wisconsin, made it down to Georgia, and in her short time in Georgia got arrested 2 times. Okay? In her very short time in Georgia got arrested 2 times. Okay? And that would be Brandy Pierce. That's this lady right here. Am I showing this? Okay. Brandy Pierce right here. Here is the playlist. She did have her Detroit arraignment. Did I show that in here? I think I did, like right in here. But anyway, I put up a freestanding video for this. And I'm going to drop that in a couple of minutes if you hadn't seen it. But yeah, let me drop the link for that here. Shouts out and good morning to everybody who's following on Facebook. Good morning, guys. Make sure to come over to YouTube and follow me over here. I'm going to drop this in just a second as a premiere. I should set that up right now. Just give me, I'll set that up in just a second. But that's it. Let's see. Someone said we already know she's a raggedy mom. We know, but this is the court of public opinion, and I know you're just joking, but this is, and maybe not. But we have to, due process is real, so we can't just go based on what we know and all of that. I don't know what extenuating circumstances some of these moms would have to justify why they've done the things they've done, but they do have they have a right to be heard. So that's kind of what we're in the process of at the moment. Just like how Nesto has been sitting cooking for almost 3 years, waiting for his opportunity. Just like he says his due process. Anyway, did you guys listen to the strawberry letter situation call yesterday? It was interesting because we heard the original calls, right? So these obviously have to be on the back channel of the the alternate pins. Let's just say that, right? This has to be on his alternate pin network. And it's just interesting to hear the difference in conversation, in how free they are to talk about certain things. Meanwhile, knowing good and damn well that I think they thought that they were smarter than everybody else. We'll talk about this at lunch, but I think they thought that they were smarter than everybody else and nobody would ever hear these calls. So that's some egg on their face, because I think once again, they thought that they were smarter than everybody and nobody was going to ever hear these calls. So they were just sitting up there talking their asses off. Okay. They're sitting up there talking their asses off, thinking that they're smarter than everybody. Meanwhile, now we get to hear their true feelings and how angry and bitter Sonia is. I mean, she's so bitter. She's such a bitter female. And we already know this about her, but it's interesting hearing her at a time where she didn't know we were listening, and she's really speaking her full mind and thoughts. Even though she knows she's on a recorded line, these are calls that I don't think they ever thought would be found, because they were cheating the system by using other people's pins and trying to hide phone calls, which they should know. And I've said this a million times. If they found Diddy's calls, if they know Diddy was using other people's pins, people were cash apping or sending money or providing favor to other inmates for Diddy to make calls using other people's pins, and they were able to locate Diddy's calls, well, damn it, they got your calls too. Okay. Straight sourpuss. Okay. Good morning, Bailey. Good morning to everybody. Straight up sourpuss, straight up and down. And okay. A mess. All right. I just set this up as a premiere. I appreciate y'all supporting. Y'all may have seen it already, but get familiar with it, because I have something coming up. So you guys get familiar with that. That's gonna go in like 10 minutes. I already lined it up. Oh, let me redirect y'all. If I redirect y'all will just go right there. Let's see. Okay. All right, meet me over here. You guys may have seen this already, but meet me over here so we can get caught up on all these. Somebody sent me another mom this morning and said, "Can you please add this to your list of like despicable moms?" And I was like, "Okay, sure, absolutely, why not?" Okay, let me see. Did this work? Hopefully, it worked. Okay, guys, let me let you guys go. I appreciate y'all coming this morning. Meet me over at the other situation, the other premiere, and then I'll see you guys at lunchtime, or meet me over at Love Lies and Lace Fronts. We're gonna get all the way caught up. Because I missed you guys yesterday. I did. I missed you guys. I appreciate y'all dropping messages and sending me Instagrams like, are you okay? Sis was good. Sis was just on the run. If you have membership, then you guys, we talked in the morning and I was picking up my cousin to help her out. And then girl, we were out in these Charlotte streets for a while. And I got home at 1 o'clock and I hadn't driven that much in a minute. So it was tiring driving in traffic and stuff. So normally I'm doing about 5 miles a day maybe. So I was out and about. I had to stop and get gas, y'all. Anywho, you guys take care. I'll see you guys in a bit over at the premiere, and then I'll see you guys at lunchtime. Okay. Thank you guys. Love you. See you later. Shall we do an outro? I guess we'll just roll on over. I'll see you in the premiere. Okay. Bye guys. Girl, sis looks mad, don't she?